like a Pac-12 football season will be happening in 2020. Hallelujah. But Ryan, what is that going to look like? Because it's not going to look normal. What are we going to see?
I think we're gonna definitely expect, obviously, a shortened season. I'll say that first and foremost. We're probably looking at maybe like an 8-game season if we start in the late October. I believe the final voting starts December 20th, correct?
It's 20th, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be college football playoff eligible, which that's going to be relevant for only a few teams in the Pac-12 because we're
Maybe.
already snubbed as it is as a Power Five conference. So,
Yeah.
you know, we're still going to be college football playoff, I think, but we're probably going to be looking at an 8-week season, which is better than a 0-week season. I'll say that much.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be 8 weeks, not 10 as I would have really liked it. But you only have to win 4 games to be bowl eligible. It's there's some pros and cons to an 8-week season, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And going off what you said, so October 31st, Halloween is when it is the most common kind of floated around date for this Pac-12 return. I think Big Ten's returning a week before that, so Pac-12 deciding is probably going to go for that. And so if that is the date you're looking at, December 20th is the final college football playoff ranking. Obviously, there might be a Pac-12 team that needs it, but they're going to aim best case scenario to get it done before then. So if a team is good, they can make it in. So that gives 8 weeks to play before that ranking, and that's including a Pac-12 championship week. So 7 games. But one of the things that Big Ten did, they have this model where in the championship week, so you're going to have the two number one teams in each division play each other. I don't remember what those divisions are called, but for the Pac-12, it'd be North and South. But then they're also going to go down the line. They're going to have the number two teams play each other, the number three, and down to six, so that teams get more games. In their case, it's 9. So that I think the Pac-12 needs to do that, because if they don't do that, then you're looking at 7. And I don't know. I think it's going to be hard to get that, like, really, that recognition if you're playing 7, especially when you're going to have teams playing 10, 11 games. So I think that's going to be super important to get those 8 games in, and that way you can get to 4 wins, you can be 500, and you can make a bowl game. So I'm curious what your thoughts are about that.
I think it's interesting. I mean, again, I'll say it. It's better than a 0-week season. That's for sure. And
Yeah.
any viewers that we have on the show, feel free to drop your own predictions in the chat of what you think it's going to look like. Whether you agree, disagree, we always love any open chat going on. But I'll ask you this, Cody. Like, I love that football has such a good chance of coming back this Thursday, if that decision's made. But
Yeah.
do you really think that fall was the best time to do it? Because I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping for a spring season, and
it
like I'll give you a reason real quick. Like,
Go for it.
I understand that fall is a time for football, and there's not very much football being played in the spring other than the AFL, but we forget about them. But spring season honestly is a green light in my eyes, and I do want to give a shout out to one of our fellow Dash Sports hosts over in Bear Dash, Jasper, who had a great tweet this week saying that the Pac-12 should have their season in the spring, and reason being is it's the only football going on. Which, if you only have one product out on the shelf, everyone's going to go towards that product. Everyone's going to look at Pac-12 football at that time. Already being a Power 5 conference that is snubbed in almost every single category, like, to be the sole conference playing football in the spring, I think would boost viewership tremendously. I mean, I'd actually get to watch First Take, and they might talk about a Pac-12 game. Like, I think a spring season would give us that opportunity. What do you think?
I'm glad you brought this up, because I absolutely hate this, and I hate that
Oh, okay.
take. I'm not trying to be personal, because this isn't just yours. Because I just find a lot of holes to poke in it. First off, being that Pac-12 football isn't like the greatest product, especially if you're talking about playing it in the spring, where a bunch of players, every draft eligible player is going to opt out because they're going to the NFL. And the whole idea of, oh, get a product on the field, people are going to watch it. That doesn't work if the product isn't at the quality that people want. The AAF failed playing in the spring, and that was a product on TV that people just
So,
didn't
so you're saying
watch.
Pac-12 football is on par with a back alley football league in the AAF? Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Well, I'm saying that if Oregon State is playing Cal, then I think I would rather watch the AAF. The Pac-12 has not a lot
That's
of
saying something,
national.
Cody. That's honestly saying so. The fact that you'll put a Division One school, a
Yeah,
Division One matchup below what who even are players in the AF? Like
they're
we all knew who Justin Herbert was nationally. Did you know who the starting quarterback was for the Seattle Dragons? Because I
uh,
don't.
a lot of those guys were fringe NFL players. Like if you're talking, and you watch those guys, and some of them are playing in the NFL now. Like they've gotten spots. So it was a
So
competitive league. It
you
was,
gotta change your verb there. You're saying playing. Okay, they're on the team.
yeah,
They're not touching the field, Cody.
they
Okay.
would have they would have in preseason. I think it kind of ruined their
In
chance,
preseason. Okay. You're right. They
and they
would have
could
played
have,
the second half. The fourth
yeah,
string D tackle would have played. Yes, but they are not playing.
well,
We have there's too much star power in the NFL for an AAF player to even be
hmm
in there. Now to say that Pac-12 is a step below that, where there's Pac-12 players drafted every year. A great amount of them play. I mean,
hmm
Zach Moss is playing for the Bills right now. Herbert just played with the Chargers yesterday. We're seeing them play. I'm not going to see an AAF NFL quarterback who may have thrown a pass in 2008. I don't want to watch that when I could watch some entertaining, 18 to 22-year-olds play football.